So one of the things that I've been learning, being a part of an interracial marriage, my wife, for those who don't know, is white, is how many.
Are you serious? I didn't get that.
Yeah, you know, Emily. Is how many like accidentally racist things are being said. Not that it's a big deal for me. I take it always with like a laugh or whatever the case is. But you know, I come to the family dinner, and I'm the only person that's Asian in the family. Her whole family is white. And for the record, I love them all. But they're like, hey,
You're
Joseph,
Asian?
we're so glad that you're here. We made rice for you.
Gotcha.
And I'm just like, you know, I eat more than rice.
Sure.
And so like, it's like, I don't know, it's a light thing. It's an accidentally racist thing. Like, it wasn't intending to come across. Like, have you ever had moments like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been offered fried chicken and watermelon at a gathering with almost all Caucasian or white people.
I just offered Andy, who's our friend who's behind the scenes, who's Mexican, watermelon with tahini.
Oh, well, okay. There you go. Yeah, I have had that. I think probably I'm sensitive to it. Everybody's not sensitive to it. I mean, when you're an oppressed people,
Yeah.
things are going to trigger you in a very different way. So sometimes I try to laugh. Other times I'm like, hey, wait a second, bro. You know, let me help you out here because that was just really racist.
Yeah, I want to understand this because for me and like my other Asian friends, or I meet other minority groups that aren't black, it seems like there's like laughter involved with it. It's kind of like it is maybe like a slightly racist joke, but no one takes it as an offensive racist joke. It's like we joke with each other's cultures, but we all have this collective understanding that there's no ill will towards that.
Sure.
It feels sometimes that that's not the same when it comes to the black community.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I think it's a
And I don't even know if I'm crossing a line already just saying that.
Well, I'd like to talk to you about what you just said.
Please.
No, seriously, Justin, it's that's gonna almost be situational, but
Okay.
fundamentally, it's the relationship that matters. You know, my wife and I, we have so many friends that are from different cultures, and we joke about things that would be absolutely inappropriate in a public setting, or inappropriate if we didn't have a context or relationship. And so it's really like I had someone whom I love and adore say to me maybe a year or two ago, man, John, you know, you're not like other black people. You know, you're educated and you're well spoken, and that's not how black people are. And I said, hey, look, can we talk a little later? Because I really had to unpack that with them. And it's not that I wanted to punch him in the face. You know, he was being an accidental racist because he's not a racist guy.
Right.
It was just a huge level of underexposure.
Yeah. And this is this theme, this accidental racist idea is what I'm seeing, like this problem emerging so much more right now.
Yeah.
Obviously tensions are high, and they have been for many years, and it's just escalating more and more. And I know that I'm part of this new wave of people who maybe haven't been doing as much as we could have been, but now are wanting to. We're leaning in. We want to be a part of the solution. But I know for myself, I'm afraid of being an accidental racist. Like when it comes to posting on social media, and I stand in solidarity. Then you have people who are like, what do you mean stand in solidarity? Why are you even like, it feels like any direction I move, I'm going to step on a landmine. And it's so like, it's scary not knowing where all the landmines are.
Sure.
How do I avoid that? But maybe is there a better way to approach this dilemma?
I think, again, it's like super hard because it's very situational. I have a friend when George Floyd was killed, okay? He tagged all of his black friends, including me. I'm one of his black friends. He had a list of like 11 of us, okay?
That probably was all of his black friends.
That was his exhaustive list of black friends. And when he decided to tag us, he said, hey, I just want you guys to know I love you and I care about you. Well, some of me, I'm like, man, thanks, bro. I love the guy. I know. There are people like, you know, that this is the problem. You know, you only have 11 people that you can even reference, and that's a problem. Well, I don't have, you know, more white friends than I do black friends because that's my cultural context. If somebody grows up in Nebraska, I'm not going to expect them to have the same type of cultural experience that I have growing up in South Florida.
Yeah, I think my wife's first black friend was in college.
Sure.
Like growing up in the Northwest, it just wasn't something that she
Absolutely.
experienced.
And you're not going to meet them necessarily doing activities that traditionally black people are not involved in.
Sure.
And so,
Like what? Can you be the one to point those out?
come on, man.
I had a picture in my mind and I don't want to be the accidental
listen,
racist.
you know, my daughter she's an equestrian. She's probably going to be one of the world's best barrel racers.
All right.
She is. That's
Good.
what she does. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, she has cousins and friends. Like, why are you doing that white sport? You know, what are you doing? But there's actually a lot of black cowboys and cowgirls. We've been riding horses a long time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So with that being said, again, it's that relationship. And I don't know, man, we've got to do better across all of the lines, being a bit more mindful that our experience, just as we have a comfortable cultural experience, the other has a comfortable cultural experience. Let me just give an example here. And I want to try to do justice to this story, but just really quickly. I had a friend. She grew up in the South, just like I did, but our stories are going to be very different because the Southern United States got some really clear invisible lines.
Okay.
Really clear invisible lines.
Sure.
All right. She decided she was going to be an activist and she was going to fight for her black friends who experience racism or systemic oppression. And this is what she's going to do. And I was like, hey, what's your plan? And she said, you watch and see. And I'm like, oh my goodness, she's
about to get serious.
She's gonna burn something down. She's gonna light a flag on fire. This is gonna be intense. Do you know where her big activist movement was at Christmas dinner? She decided to say after the prayer that her family prayed, she said, I've never had any black people in my house or Hispanic people in my house, and people say all these negative things about black people in my family. This was her big moment, okay? Get out the lighter, get out the flag. That's not what she did, but I'm just saying. She said, I just like to say I love black people.
Oh.
And to her, this was the big moment, and this was just so huge. But guess what? I would rather her be an accidental racist or accidental activist in that instance. I'd rather her be that. And that's really the key. The idea is the step. It's the opportunity.
Better to be an accidental racist than a real racist.
It's better to be an accidental racist than a real one. Yeah.
So I don't know. Are you using this to say that it's okay for those of us who aren't black, who are well-meaning, want to make a difference? Like, there's room for mistake?
There is room for mistake. And my community needs to be more sensitive to that. I want to take responsibility for that. Of course, there's a lot of hurt, and it's a very serious subject. Even as we're talking, you know, we can laugh about it because there's a kind of relationship there. We can do that. But there's so much hurt and so much frustration. It's difficult sometimes. But there are instances when the relationship is growing where we're going to have to try to give a pass on the accidents of the person that wants to not be a racist. And grow with them in that journey.
Yeah, I like that because it's less about the exact words and phrases that you may or may not use.
Yeah, words matter
for sure.
But when you see someone's trying to take that step,
right? So it's less about the words and it's more about like the content of your heart.
Sure, and we're not reading hearts around here,
right? But I think that we can definitely have a sense like, okay, so and so is trying, and maybe their trying is maybe not so great, and that's where we can try and like work together to get better at that. But I don't know, like I think that's something, like if I know that I have freedom to make a mistake, and I would invite you to hold me accountable as a brother, but that I can make that mistake, and I'm not like burning a bridge if and when I make that mistake, because I'm fairly certain in the years to come I'm gonna make some slip ups when it comes to this issue. But knowing that there's a little bit of grace on the other side, like
that makes a huge difference. It's just enough to help get things over the line, or just enough to blur the lines. Yeah, that's important.
Next time on I'm Listening. So John, are you a racist?
Well, Justin, are you first?
I did have a friend, and she told me that she does adhere to the belief that black people can't be racist.
Wow.
And so when you say that you are on the spectrum of racism, that seems to conflict with what she had told me. That black people can't be racist.
I'm okay disagreeing with her because I totally do. We can be.